So this is the manufacturing scheduling app that we've created. It's a multiple tab layout, and generally speaking, these tabs represent stages in the process. So the initial tab is original sales orders. So this is not a Rover backend in this case, but these are representing sales orders. You can drill into the line items on the sales order. I'm trying to run into a random one with multiple lines. Right, so here's one. So their first step would be selecting one or more line items that they're going to start manufacturing. They can copy those items. That moves them into the next stage. So then the items show up here. They can update details on each of these items depending on user's permission. So this particular user has full permission. They can edit anything they want. Some users will only have read permission there. All of these columns are sortable and filterable. Another thing that we've done here is there's a fairly large data set here. There's 1,800 records, so we're doing lazy loading of data. So it's only going out and pulling back the page size each time. And that allows us to do the filtering and sorting across all 1,800 records. Then they have the opportunity they can add new items here. So if they wanted to just randomly introduce a new line item that isn't actually represented in the original sales order, you can do that. You can also then progress these items to the next stages. So that's done through the copy. So that then took those items and moved them into the work in process stage. We've also provided export and print capability. So if you choose print, it will come up and prompt for which columns you want to see. And then we create a clean printable view. Alternatively, you can also export to a CSV file. Same options, though, to choose the columns you want to include. So that will then give you a nice Excel export of the data. There's a couple sort of interesting options here too. This is a manufacturing process, so they may have leftover when they have a particular product they're manufacturing. They can add those into this bulk leftover tab. And then when they're progressing items from their open order status to the work in progress, it will check to see if that particular formula has any bulk leftover. And if so, it will prompt them whether they want to use it or not. I didn't stage an example of that, but if you were selecting this item and choosing to copy and there happened to be bulk leftover for that particular formula, it would prompt you if you want to use it. And then when you get to the work in progress, there would actually be two lines, one for the original line that you're bringing in and one for the bulk leftover item.
Right, the ability to export the contents of the table or print it. Those are some things that I talked to Greg about that we think we'll try to quickly expand out to every other section of the app where we've got a tabular display of data, right, where it makes sense at least. Just a nice clean way for people to be able to get a quick report out of the system potentially.
Some of the updates we've made in point of sale is we've sort of split the view between a sales rep and a physical register. And so what I'll be demoing today is more of the sales rep view. As you can see in this top bar right here, there's 3 areas where you pick a customer, create the order, and then you gather some more order information. So the first step to do is to find a customer. What you could do is either type it by name or ID. We'll do Cambridge Power Processing because they have a specific part with the code, which is dealer, and that's the first thing you see. We've also added filters here, broken down by different categories. So we have wheels, power supply, electric component, hardware. We do have a bit of a bug with this that we need to just show. This is the AC power supplies and the categories and then capacitors, but we'll patch that right up. We're also able to search by categories. So this is the one-piece wheel category. And you're able to add parts here. Another thing you could do is reset the search, and that'll get you back to the original code price. One other thing we have is the different prices by the quantity. So you could update the quantity here, And once you hit up to a certain amount defined in the parts or the price file, it'll update. So this became 610.
No.
And then if you move beyond that, I believe it becomes 575, and then we could add it to our order. Sorry, this will pop up. And so from here, we're able to hit create order, and that'll navigate us to the order information. And so here we're able to pick an address, and once you select that, it'll update the sales tax. It looks like these parts don't actually have any sales, aren't taxable, so it'll be zeroed out. Some of the other information you're able to add currently is the PO number, the order type, the ship date, and as well as ship via. And then you're able to add a signature here. And that now we've added the received by, so you could say who it was by, and then received date. So that's something we've recently added. We also, if you add information here, it'll show up in the order summary to the right. So adding the ship date, places it here, adding the ship via, do UPS ground. And then from there, you're able to create the order. And so this will immediately update. So we have the 26607, and then we're able to go into the sales module, and then we could see it appear here. So we see the Cambridge power processing. We're able to open it. We could see the part we added, the price, the quantity, and then the signature, as well as the received by and the received date. Oh, these aren't wired up yet. So I'll fix that. But that is currently right now the flow for the sales reps. We're currently starting to add in more order information. I know that's something we're discussing. But this is very close to being a final product. We're going to be starting getting it to the hands of some of our users relatively soon. And from there, we'll just make some smaller tweaks and fit a little bit better. But generally right now, this is very close to a finished product.
Firstly, like Mike said, we're connected to SHIMS, which is cool. The second thing is there is a big UI update, as you could probably tell. We've got these KPI cards up top, which right now they're not connected to data, but they will be, and they'll show the information month by month, based on the heading. And they're also used for navigation. So as you can see, there's this little underline, which shows us that we're in the invoices module right now. So it looks a little bit different from what we had before, and it looks a little bit different from the web client, which has, our hamburger left side menu versus these KPI navigation cards. So that's one. So, here we've got our invoices, same as we had before. If we had tickets, which we don't, with this SHIMS customer, they would show here, and that's something that's to come as well, which is that we'll, if tickets is kind of not being used, we'll remove it from the screen. We don't need that. And then here we've got orders. So this is where a lot of work has been happening, work in progress. Here are our past orders. Something that we're going to add is a button which basically allows you to recreate that order, so you can basically reorder. But right now it doesn't do that. And then here we've got what is similar to the point of sale parts view. This still needs the cleanup that point of sale got, so keep that in mind, but this is the general idea. It will initially load up with the parts for that customer. We can click on a category that will drill us down, and we can get into different categories, subcategories rather. And now here we've got coils. So that is displayed here. And as you can see, the filters were updated. And that's based on our subcategory selection. And then we can, again, we can filter, down based, using our filters, tonnage, position. Yeah, and that is basically Rover portal. And you know, of course, we can do everything that we can do in point of sale. We can add items to the order. We can remove them. The continue to payment and the create order button haven't been completed yet, but you know that will be to come, just like it was shown in point of sale. So yeah, so this is really exciting. Work in progress, but it should be pretty quick because it's very similar to point of sale. So yeah, and one more comment that I want to make: those of you from detail oriented would question how we can get back to our umbrella category if we needed to. And we're going to be adding some breadcrumbs right here with the search results for category coils. So those will be some breadcrumbs that you can kind of click back into past chosen categories or parent categories.